I am approaching this with great trepidation because it's got nothing to do, I'm not being personal.
JP now hits us with, I'm approaching this with great trepidation. Yes, his English is now sounding like a cross between Shakespeare and a nervous advocate. What does trepidation mean? It's a fancy word for fear, anxiety, or nervousness about something that might happen. Think of it as that uneasy feeling you get right before you open your exam results or your electricity bill. Here is an example. You may say, I'm meeting my girlfriend's parents for the first time tonight, and I'm approaching it with great trepidation, meaning you're really low-key freaking out. So next time you want to say, I'm nervous, don't just say that, rather say, I'm approaching this with great trepidation. Okay. Now, let me hear your examples in the comments.
All I'm saying is there are two mutually destructive versions on an issue that we are debating. That's all I'm saying. Under oath, she says this. When she lays the complaint, she would have the JCC believe that on 18 June, he asked me to finish what we were talking about and asked if I was wrong. I said no. Then we go to the conversations. They are a far cry from that. So both in her evidence, which was under oath, and here, they are mutually destructive versions. That's a complete distortion, or put it this way, it is a far cry from what we are reading from this.
Wow, that's a mouthful of English. But let's break it down for you English learners. JP says, those are mutually exclusive versions. That's a far cry and complete distortion. This man is basically walking around like a human Oxford dictionary at this point. So, mutually exclusive versions is a fancy way of saying two things can't both be true at the same time. Think of it like this. If your friend says, I was home all night, but also says, I was at the club until 3 a.m. Those are mutually exclusive versions of the story. Here is a simple example. Babe, you can't say you're on a diet and also eat my fries. Those are mutually exclusive versions of healthy eating. That's a far cry. This means something is very different from what you expected or from the truth. If you were promised a luxury hotel and end up in a dodgy room with flickering lights, that's a far cry from luxury. Example? You said your cooking was like Gordon Ramsay's. This instant noodles is a far cry from fine dining. Complete distortion. This is when something has been twisted or changed so much it's no longer accurate. Like when you tell your friend you spoke to your ex and somehow the gossip version becomes you're getting married again. That's a complete distortion of reality. In everyday use, you may say, what you're saying about me at the office is a complete distortion of what really happened. So next time you want to say, it's impossible for both to be true. That's totally different. And that's twisted out of context. Don't be simple. Go full JP and drop. Those are mutually exclusive versions. That's a far cry. And that's a complete distortion.